How easy is it for me to commit several crimes with Bitcoin and wash my dirty money? It's quite easy indeed. I love my Bitcoin. Crazy hamburger. The crazy. Okay, the other day I stumbled across something that's incredibly interesting. So apparently the BBC sent out a guy who's been working in Romania for quite some time, who wrote a book about Romania, who went to go spend time with Andrew Tate before he got locked up and before he got put in jail and before everything like really kind of spiraled out of control for him in his life. And I thought it would be really interesting because he has some insightful things about what his life really is. He wrote an article in The Guardian not too long ago, a couple of days ago, the truth about Andrew Tate's home. The truth about Andrew Tate, his home is less Hollywood, hideaway, and more rundown meat factory. And so he did a full like audio thing. We're going to listen to that in a moment, but I wanted to read this because I thought it was actually quite interesting. We pulled up on a patch of waste ground besides Andrew Tate's home in Pipera, in the Pipera district of Bucharest, a mix of aspirational new villas and ugly post-communist blocks. No, not the commie blocks. Stray dog park in the distance. The gate is subtly masculine, heavy, black, and sliding. Yo, that's literally me. The door into the compound looks like it might be bomb-proof. Tate is not there, of course, but two of his heavies dressed in black suits patrol a modest pool where I think I've seen Tate posing shirtless for online images. Go around the side and you realize that Tate's home is less Hollywood hideaway and more like a rundown meat factory. Faux brickwork, dripping gutters, dark windows. There's a pile of rubble where you'd expect the garden to be, and a broken IKEA lamp. Given the billionaire hype and his regular postings about his private jets, ocean-going yachts, and his fleet of supercars, Tate's residence is somewhat underwhelming. There is plenty of exclusive neighborhoods in Bucharest, crammed with beautiful villas. They're equipped with tennis courts and pool houses and staff quarters, and they cost millions. If Tate really has the wealth he said he does, why does he live in a, what is this? Ceausescu's former neighborhood. His followers say that he needs to be in hiding in his weird lair to keep a low profile. But there's plenty of little mansions in Bucharest where they live in a smart neighborhood and keep a low profile, but not blurring out their every move and the internet acting like gangsters. Oh, this is interesting because like we saw like some things about his home, but like a lot of people weren't let in very. Remember how we saw the Vice documentary and the guy went to his home and he's like, you can't go here, you can't go there, you can't look at that, you can't look at this. It's just like the main sort of atrium that he was able to go to and like maybe a room or two. But most places were just completely off limits. It seems like what happens if the second you step off the beaten path in his little mini mansion that he has in Bucharest, everything just falls apart and it looks like a back road home lawn in the middle of like the deep south. Apparently it's just like lawns covered in trash and shit like that. Broken IKEA lamps. Quite interesting. Because he was doing crimes. Yeah, those are his crime rooms full of crimes. He was busy doing so many crimes, he can't show you the crime rooms. But apparently the only crime that he had that was going on here was just littering and not fixing any of the gutters. Remarkable even. Shithole, many people would say. Many people would say this, myself included. All right, let's get this. And also, there was an audio thing that he released not too long ago from the BBC. The 7th of February, 2023, a British woman talks about her relationship with the controversial influencer Andrew Tate. Let us take a look at what she's got to say.
I am, by the metrics of the internet, the most famous individual who is currently alive in the world today.
I don't think that's true.
A self-proclaimed misogynist who says he's a trillionaire and who's followed online by a huge digital army of young men.
The youth of today won't listen to anybody else. That's the reason I'm the most famous man on the planet, because none of these other people have the authority to affect them like I do.
His videos have been viewed more than 12 billion times online, boasting about his lavish lifestyle and urging men to toughen up and take control of women.
Life is war. It's a war for the female you want. It's a war for the car you want. It's a war for the money you want. It's a war for the status. If you're a man who doesn't
stage.
view life as war, you're going to lose.
I'm Paul Kenyon. I specialize in exposing criminality and have family in Romania, where Tate's empire prospered.
This is the guy whose article we just read.
I'm from the same town as Tate, Luton. I know the same neighbourhoods and some of the same people. My mum even grew up on the same council estate, Marsh Farm.
We're doing this investigation together because Tate's alpha male, ultra masculine message is aimed at young men.
And his violent misogyny is something women like me find upsetting and extremely offensive.
Tate is being held in a Romanian prison over allegations of human trafficking and rape. But he says it's all a setup by what he calls the Matrix, a conspiracy of the rich and powerful to shut him up.
Ask the police what evidence they have against me. It's nothing.
See, this is why people are always like, Shark, why don't you watch media? Shark, why don't you watch media? This is what would happen if I watch media. I would end up like these people where I keep making like shitty media references that I have no clue about. This is what would happen. I would fall into this trap. Every time somebody would be mean to me online, I'd be like, it's the Matrix. The only difference between me and Tate is, well, for one, I treat women slightly better, and also I don't I never watched The Matrix. I still haven't any of the Matrix movies to this very day. You know, it do what it is, partner. It is what it does, and I'm not British. Thank God.
I just buried this so deeply.
Tonight, File on 4 has an exclusive interview with a British woman who says that she was controlled and abused by Andrew Tate.
It was just constantly feeling inferior to him. I realised I just couldn't live like that anymore, and it wasn't normal.
And I'm flying to Romania to ask whether his boasts of vast wealth are all that they seem, and what lies behind his network of companies.
Well, having seen the information that you've shown me, it is quite hard to differentiate that from other networks I've seen which have ultimately ended up being shown to be money laundering or other financial criminal networks.
Tonight, the shocking story behind one of the world's most infamous social media stars and how he became an icon of young men looking for fast money, fast girls, and internet stardom.
Personally, I like slow girls. Wait a second. But they didn't come out right.
It's a cold morning in January, and I'm on my way to see a young woman with an important story to tell. She's Andrew Tate's ex-girlfriend, and she's decided to give her first interview to File on 4. I think that's her, actually, because I recognise her from her pictures.
Let him cook.
I'm meeting her in a car park of a motorway service station because she's scared and doesn't feel comfortable to let us visit her at home. She asked if we can talk in my car. We're going to call her Sophie. She's
Hi,
worried
Sophie.
about a possible online backlash from Tate's followers.
Oh yeah, they'll
Her
kill her.
words are spoken by an actor. If you need to stop and just take a breather, let us know, because we can do that.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that.
She arrives wearing a black fur coat, looking flawless. She's nervous. Her hands are shaking as she speaks.
It's very difficult because I don't feel like a victim. I mean, all the choices I made were of my free will. He didn't, bundle me up in a bag, throw me in the back of a lorry and drive me there. But at what point does the emotional or psychological manipulation turn
What do you mean
into
by
being
that?
forced to do something?
Andrew Tate and his younger brother Tristan are in custody in Romania while police investigate allegations of rape, trafficking, and organised crime.
So here's a really interesting thing. There's going to be a lot of people who think like the story just ends there. Like, oh, as long as you don't like physically grab somebody and throw them in a bag, that means like that's not human trafficking. That's not like what human trafficking is. A large part of human trafficking is like fraud, literally lying to them, which is something that Andrew Tate did do. He did lie to them, and he told people to lie to the girls. Honestly, that was a part of his business strategy, to tell them one thing, and then once they get there, do something else. And once they're there, do things like taking their is this all audio? Yes, it is all audio only. As far as I know, it is on BBC Sounds, and so I would imagine that's audio. But yeah, but nothing here. I've not seen a single piece of video at all yet. So yeah, like as they said, like the Loverboy method, not even just like the Loverboy method. What he also did was, as he said, he would like commit tax fraud, take more money from them than he's saying that he's taking, not give them as much money as they're making, and then tell them that they are, and then tell them that there's nothing that they could really do about it, doing things like taking their passports, keeping their passports, so they couldn't leave, tell them that they couldn't go places without them, keeping their personal belongings, all this type of stuff that just keep them in place. That's where like the human trafficking comes in. So not every girl he forced. There are also allegations of like actual force that was being used, as we've talked about, stealing and keeping the passports, physical abuse, literal rape, multiple counts of rape, all this type of stuff. So it's not simply just this. There are a lot of things that he was doing. Him and his Tristan, my evil doppelganger, were up to. My Waluigi, disgusting.
Prosecutors say that the brothers recruited.
Yeah, he didn't murder them, so.
Them and falsely claiming they wanted a relationship before manipulating them into working in their adult entertainment chat rooms.
Yeah, and telling them that he wanted a relationship with them when then that's not true is also part of trafficking.
That emotion and the things that you do for it. Any kind of rationale or logic kind of leaves your body, and you find yourself doing things that maybe you wouldn't normally do. And this is just another one of those situations.
Since Sophie first met Andrew Tate, he's gone from obscurity to global internet sensation, with his hypermasculine content promoting male superiority spreading across all social media platforms. But his meteoric rise to fame last year came as no surprise to Sophie.
It was kind of annoying to see his name everywhere, but I knew. I said it to all my friends. It's a matter of time before they figure out what's really going on here.
She spent months in Romania with Tate, believing that she was Tate's girlfriend. But as she'll tell us later in this programme, he quickly became controlling and violent at his home on the outskirts of Bucharest.
And that's where I'm heading now, a country I've been travelling back and forth to for nearly 3 decades. Romania has changed a lot. There are Porsches and Ferraris driving down these boulevards today, and lots of young tech entrepreneurs posing outside fashionable restaurants.
Is Romania on the come up? Does anybody know?
To Andrew Tate's house.
I'm saying if you want to be happy as a man and you want to have a good relationship nowadays, you better learn to pick up, sleep with, and you got to learn to tear through some chicks. Because if you're just
So why did he leave Luton in the first place? And why Romania?
In the Western legal systems, if a girl says something, she needs zero proof. They will come and they will arrest you and they'll put you on bail and they will search your stuff and go through your phone and go through your personal life and find new things to charge you with. It's insanity. And I thought I can't live under this system anymore, so I had to move somewhere with common sense rules.
Anyways, here's me in jail for 90 days. No, this is crazy. It's always so interesting to me how like a lot of dudes say this, because a lot of dudes actually believe this. This happened recently. Another Ohio L. Well, I mean, I guess like I don't know. Like I was gonna say Ohio L, Ohio W. I don't know. It's not great happening in Ohio again. Basically, what happened, I'm not sure if you guys heard about it. It was this the case of these 2 former Ohio State football players who were arrested 3 years ago for allegedly assaulting a girl, who were recently found not guilty. And the big thing is, like, once they were like found not guilty, everybody was like, these women need to be put away, these women need to be put in jail, give them the death penalty, something must be done. Women can't keep getting away with this. They can't keep getting away with it. All this type of stuff. It's so strange because what they think is that what happens is that women will just be like, I don't like this guy. Let me just lie about him being like a rapist and then take it to the cops, because it's so easy to go through like a lawsuit, to go through like a criminal lawsuit as a victim or like alleged victim, which it's not at all. But outside of like the ease, because also like being alleged of committing a violent crime isn't easy either. Outside of that, it's like you don't gain anything. You don't gain anything from this. You only really lose, especially if anybody finds out like your name or your face. I promise you, like, your life won't be better. It'll be far worse. Anybody who's ever actually had to go through it, any women who are actually like assaulted, like this has happened. Then on top of the fact of like, if somebody does like literally make up something about you and there's literally no evidence whatsoever, you're probably going to get off. Like you may like be arrested, but don't you think like if people are like accused, like really accused of crimes, and you bring something to like a DA, that they should probably take it seriously? Personally, I think that like a DA should take like assault seriously. I think they should take like murder seriously. If somebody's like, this guy murdered somebody, you have a dead body and you have a suspect, do you think that the police just shouldn't do anything about it? It just makes no sense. Like, I understand it. I've even been accused of something that I haven't done before, not by like any girl, but like by her friends who didn't like me, but well, her like one friend who didn't like me after the relationship soured, and that sucked. Nothing happened. Nothing became of it. You know why? Because I didn't do anything wrong. I'm literally just a guy. Like, what? They'll try and get you with this. Almost got jumped. Yeah, it happens. I'm sorry about that. It happens. Yes, 100%. And they could like try and take down your reputation in like the court of public opinion, which can happen, and you can lose like that 100%. And the stink of like a false accusation does stick with you. But like, what in the world is a false accusation? Ask somebody who believes this. Ask them this question: what is a false accusation? And I can promise you, 90% of the time, they have no clue what they're talking about. They have no clue they have no idea what a false accusation is, right? Because if you like what, like, let's say you like accuse somebody of doing something wrong and they actually did it, but there isn't enough evidence to like convict them. Is that a false accusation? Is it a lie? I don't think so. I think what everybody who brings a case against somebody, but they weren't able to, but the person is found not guilty. Can you be able to sue them now? I don't think so. It doesn't make any damn sense, if I'm going to be honest with you. If they literally lie, if they purposely like rubbing their hands together and like playing with their cartoon villain mustache, and they're like, mohaha, I can't wait to ruin their life, and you're able to find that out, yeah, absolutely, they should go to jail. But that's not like a new law. It's already a law. If you lie to the police, that's illegal. There's no new law that needs to be made from that. You just don't know what, you're just mad, and it's okay to be mad. I was mad. And it's okay for you to be mad as well. But honestly, I think a lot of these guys, a lot of their like personal issues with the world come from like self-imposed internet trauma. If I'm going to be honest with you, there's like something bad happens to a guy that they like, a guy that they're like, he's literally just like me. And the first thing they think is like, he is, not only is he just like me, he is me. And this crime is being done against me. And so now they live their life like it happened to them in real life. It's so strange. They're just going to give themselves like internet derived trauma from something that they just saw online once. It's wild. On top of the fact that like most like rapists are getting away with rape anyway, so. But a lot of them aren't ready for that conversation yet.
Those common sense rules mean that the Romanian prosecutors now say he's too dangerous to release while they continue investigating his activities. He might be having some regrets about that earlier interview.
This is probably 40% of the reason I moved to Romania. They go, oh, well, you're a rapist. I say, no, I'm not a fucking rapist. But I like the idea of being able to just say to do what I want.
You didn't like that I was thinking I can do whatever I want to. That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this planet.
That's a...
Already said this?
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I f***ing loved how much you hated it. Turn me on.
I am not a rapist.
Seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit. You didn't...
I am not a rape. I'm not a rapist. Okay, buddy.
I like being free.
Right. I'm just approaching Tate's house.
Am I racist? But every like British guy
sprawling Orthodox cemetery
like this, I'm so sorry. Am I racist? But every British guy like this, they always sound like either Top Gun, or they either sound like they're on their drive for like a Top Gun shoot, or they're like doing a car review. I'm so sorry. But every like white British guy who's like white middle-aged, like 35 something British guy, they all sound exactly like this, and every time I hear them talk, I think they're doing a car review. Or like about to do something in regards of like Top Gun. Thank God I thought it was just me, right? He sounds like every British guy doing a car review ever.
They go, oh, well, you're a rapist. I say, no, I'm not a fucking rapist.
Right.
I like the idea of being able to just say to do what I want. I like being free.
Right. I'm just approaching Tate's house along here.
Tate time.
Just been past a big sprawling Orthodox cemetery. And there's a rubbish tip here. And a lot of wasteland. Is pretty bleak. And it's supposed to be just down here. And I've got to tell you, this isn't the kind of place you'd expect a trillionaire to live at all. Tate's home looks more like a meat factory than a social media star's villa.
Damn.
If I'd got here a week or so earlier, the car park outside would have been full of supercars, Lamborghinis, Bugattis, but they were seized by police after Tate and his brother were arrested back in December.
Oh, also, something that also came up that I think you all may find humorous is that wasn't the only thing that was taken by police. What else was also taken by police from the Tate home was his Bitcoin. They yoinked the brother's Bitcoin, which is so funny. Look at this. Andrew Tate reveals how much money he had seized by authorities in Bitcoin. So sad. Shock Instagram influencer, ex-boxer Andrew Tate was arrested for human trafficking. That you hate to see it. Well, you love to see it. Hate to see it for if you're him. Thankfully, we're not. Romanian authorities, where the British American lives, have since seized millions of dollars and luxury cars from the homes and watches. But what about his Bitcoin? This was a video released not too long ago by by an Andrew Tate simp who said why Andrew Tate is all in on Bitcoin. They're all pumping and dumping their Bitcoin shit and trying to get their like brokey fans to be able to help boost up their crypto schemes. And so he said that he was specifically all in on Bitcoin. He loves Bitcoin. Being broke, unconnected, and weak should bother you deeply inside. And only once it deeply bothers you will you truly attempt to fix it. So true. I'm going full crazy, Mr. Blockchain now, he added. He's full crazy, Mr. Blockchain. Let's see how that worked out for him. How do I pronounce this? I love my text-to-speech.
Petrescu
and Andrew Tate's wallets contained 5 Bitcoin, today worth about $111,000. Tristan wallet had about 16, worth about $467,000. Andrew Tate's Bitcoin was held in his girlfriend's hardware wallet, the spokesman said, adding that it couldn't confirm whether the social media star owned more crypto than has already been seized. Romanian police were not able to be reached for comment. Andrew Tate talked about Bitcoin a lot. You can actually control and own all your money, he said on this podcast. How difficult is it to move serious cash? No problem with Bitcoin. How easy is it for me to commit several crimes with Bitcoin and wash my dirty money? It's quite easy indeed. I love my Bitcoin. Crazy hamburger. Crazy. Oh man. Oh no. Frequently talked about the size of his crypto. 1 second. This money now, his like a physical his Bitcoin wallets have now been seized by the Romanian police. They're not sure if he has any more Bitcoin wallets out there that are like hidden that they weren't able to find, but these have since been seized. Romanian authorities have seized millions of dollars of his Bitcoin now. It is all over. It is all over. Hey, love to see it actually. It's a great thing.
Until after I've had sex with the girl. If you're on dates and you're trying to mention it and shit, it just doesn't work. It puts them off. I'd never do that. That's disgusting. I'm not a whore. It's just not gonna work.
Listen to what Sophie says happened when she finally flew in to Romania.
Bro, he's treating like the thing that you tell a girl on like a third date before you like pop the question if you want to like, you know, take it further. You know, the type of thing that you say like, oh, I'm really bad at taking out the garbage, or typically I like pee in the toilet twice before I flush it, or something along that. Or, oh, I'm sorry, I'm like a streamer. Yeah, he's like saying that he's trying to use that as being on the same level of, hey, can I sexually traffic you across country lines?
There was no mention of webcamming when they talked on Facebook. She thought that this was about romance.
I didn't really think of, what could this really be about, and it didn't really cross my
I sleep in a
mind,
nest.
So There was some naivety there, I guess, from my part.
And here's Tate again, teaching how to exert pressure on potential recruits.
Then you start mentioning things like, yeah, but you know, you're always busy, you're always at work, you can come work for me.
A couple of times he'd said to me, oh, you should do it, you'd make a fortune, but you don't have to, you know, if you don't want to. You don't have to do it. You can do nothing, I make enough money.
As I said, you cannot try and approach girls to do webcam. So you don't want a girl who's in it for money. You want a girl who's in it to be with you.
But he was always reminding me that the option was there, and that kind of progressed into, well, if you love me, you would do it. If you care about me, you would do it, because, you know, this is my business and we can build something together and make all this money and we can buy property and we can invest and we can build this thing together.
Now, Tate talks about closing the deal. He says you take the woman to a smart restaurant where a previously recruited webcammer will come along and help with the coercion.
Shit's insane.
Martinis, 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 bang, threesome. Slam them both. Your bottom bitch knows. This girl's like, okay, well, I'll try it. Put both girls on camera together the first day. Give them a bottle of vodka. The guys will send loads of money to get the girls drunk.
I think over time, just chipping away at me eventually led me to think, well, yeah, maybe he's right. Maybe I should be doing it. And I guess it depends on the individual girl, the tactics he uses. It depends on the situation, the road he will go down to get them to doing it.
That's how you recruit girls. You do not recruit girls any other way.
More than 1,000 miles away from Bucharest in my car in that motorway.
It's still, I don't know if it's like hit me yet that we're just watching like
on those years with Andrew Tate,
a huge criminal organization fall
before working for Tate. So it was an industry that she'd been on the fringes of, but she'd been pulled in by Tate's promise of romance and had never planned to end up in the situation she found herself in.
It's all manipulation and there's an ulterior motive to everything he does. It's difficult for people to understand that haven't felt how manipulative he is, or other men can be, unless you've had an experience of that.
What she's described to Georgia appears to be a form of psychological coercion, which in the UK is called grooming, and in Romania has a different name.
Conservatives don't care about actual grooming.
What you're talking about
That's crazy.
Is something that we call the Romeo trafficker or the lover boy technique.
Iona Bauer is from Romanian NGO E-Liberare that helps women who've been trafficked.
Victims will not necessarily self-identify as victims. They're always going to find explanations of why that is happening. However, you always have to follow the money. Who is profiting from there? Is the trafficker actually taking money that's being generated by that particular person?
We tend to think of human trafficking as forcing people across borders and keeping them against their will. But psychological coercion is also a form of this dirty business.
Human trafficking is actually hidden in plain sight. The chains that we maybe imagine, they're not always visible. A lot of times they're psychological. It might be the fact that they're so ashamed somebody's going to find out what has happened to them that they're literally stuck.
I went back to Pipera, the neighborhood where Tate's house is, because we'd had a tip-off.
And Tate even builds shame against these girls to keep them stuck.
Is a house where some of Tate's webcam women perform. One of them's on the doorstep. She turns out to be a Romanian woman in her early 20s called Jasmina. And on her arm is a tattoo that says Tate's name, like she's been branded.
I hate that.
She didn't want to speak to us, but she's being treated as a victim by Romanian prosecutors. Hi, Georgia. We've just met a couple of Tate's webcammers, and they've got these tattoos on their arms that say things like Tate's girl or Tate's property. It's like a kind of branding or something.
Yeah, I think Sophie has a tattoo as well, and she talked about.
Yo, I told you about this one girl who I told you about this one girlfriend who wanted me to put a tattoo on her, right? Crazy stuff. Not like this. I don't think she wanted my name. I think she wanted me to do like a stick and poke cat. Still crazy. I told her no. Proof. Looking back, I think it's proof that I'm not crazy, that I'm not insane. Because I feel like there would be a lot of like younger dudes who would be like, I get to make my mark on a woman that's like so permanent, like a tattoo for life. They'd be like, hell yeah. I was like, hell no, woman, get away from me. I was like, be normal. It was crazy stuff, dude. She did get a tattoo anyways, but I didn't do it. She went to go get a professional tattoo from like a real tattoo artist and not some like weirdo 19-year-old who she was dating, as far as I know. I don't know if she went on to get like a tattoo from like a boyfriend later. Not sure if that was on her like bucket list. But all I know is I did not participate.
How Andrew Tate convinced her it was a good idea to have one, even though she now realises how crazy it sounds.
There was another girl that had one done, and he was sending me pictures of it saying, look, I don't give a shit about her, she's nothing to me, she just works for me, and she did it, so why haven't you done it? Why haven't you got one? You're my girlfriend. You're obviously not that committed, and it felt like it was something that I had to do.
So there she was, branded with Andrew Tate's name, and she says doing everything he asked her to do to keep him happy. But the control was getting worse.
Never
if she
enough.
went out with friends without his permission, she'd have to pay a fine.
A fine?
This form of control and domination, a kind of
what in the
assertive
world?
masculinity, had fed into
He acts like a parent who doesn't
want
to keep his kid in the house.
An alpha male, a hustler who boasts of having underworld connections.
You have to pay rent?
Sprawled in front of a blanket of dollar notes, a cigar permanently gripped between his teeth.
His nickname became
Demon.
Top G. In street slang, the G stands for gangster.
Really?
Is an individual who is capable.
Oh my goodness. These people who grew up in Cheshire are like, he typically calls himself Top G. In street lingo, G stands for gangster. Dun dun. I'm sorry, it's just so funny. They are also British, that is true. You know nothing about the mean streets of Broomhippinghamshire, okay? You don't get it. Street lingo. First mistake was talking to me. The booba tat. I would not tat a girl booba. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I would not do that. I'm not putting a tattoo on a girl. Honestly, I don't even want to be involved in the tattoo process of like my girlfriend. If I'm gonna be honest, like if she was like, "Hey, I have these like tattoo choices. Do you want me to? Can you help me pick one out?" I'm like, "Nah, go talk to your friend or something." That feels so uncomfortable. I don't want to be a part of the tattoo process. I'm like, yeah, skippity bippity shire. Get the fuck out of here. Up West Northamptonshire. Goodness. G stands for gangsta. Growing up in the mean streets of Wemblethomp.
In all realms. When you are Top G, you are dangerous at everything. That's why I'm Top G.
You might laugh at some of Tate's online rants, but this is serious and dangerous stuff that millions of young people are buying into.
There's a large contingent of men out there who don't want to wear makeup, who don't want to be girls, who don't.
Tate has filled his social media accounts with posts urging men to
anybody up wanting to wear makeup and be girls.
And there's nothing wrong with us. We are not evil. We are not bad. We're not.
It's worth knowing that some of what Tate says is reasonable and constructive. He speaks about curing low self-esteem among young men, telling followers to rise early, train at the gym, push themselves to succeed. But he throws into the mix some toxic misogyny, and it can be difficult for teenage boys to disentangle the good from the bad.
Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex.
Huh?
He's talked openly about violence against women who wouldn't do as he said. And by August 2022, he'd been banned from all the major social media platforms.
But far from neutering him, his notoriety exploded.
I think he does need to be
His
neutered.
content has been viewed 12 billion times on TikTok, eclipsing Hollywood actors and rock stars.
Teachers across the UK are becoming increasingly concerned about Tate's influence on the boys in their classroom. They've arranged workshops and extra training to tackle his potentially...
It's so sad they have to have like anti-Tate workshops to tell them not to beat
where he's having an
the girls in chat.
If you've never met a Tate fan, just follow me into this coffee bar beside a prestigious high school in a wealthy district of Bucharest.
We love Andrew.
Huh?
We love
I
Andrew.
think, yes, we love him.
He just speaks for most of our people.
He teaches us important lessons about life. He teaches us things that we are not taught at school.
Like how to act when you talk to a girl, when you need to start a business.
Yeah, but the way he tells you to talk to girls is not good, is it? Because it's quite bullying and it's quite misogynistic.
No, it depends on the girl, honestly. If you find a girl that is like educated, the stuff he talks about, you won't work on that girl. But if you talk to a hoe,
you talk to a what? To a hoe?
Yeah.
What would your mum say if she saw how he spoke?
She would be not okay with it, but she will not disagree, honestly.
Come on, you're kidding me. Your mum wouldn't like it if she saw what he was saying about women. And what about your mum?
Oh, so they acknowledge that they don't know how to get into a good relationship. It's just crazy. Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. Lonely, and I've said it before, but it needs worth saying again. A lot of people, I don't want to like say any names or anything. A lot of people who don't have much like relationship experience or like want a relationship or anything, they think they want sex, right? And you see this with a lot of like nerd ass people online, or people who are like really confined in their like how they can express themselves when they were younger, like under their parents. How like the stricter the parents, the more they act out. Not even like not even like in the real world, but like online. They do it a lot. They like it a lot online. How a lot of people like to be like. I've had people ask me like, why are people like so sexual online? I think the big reason is because it's a way for asking for validation, for love, for attention in a way that seems more reasonable, or like at least out there, to the point where you can separate it from yourself and how you like see yourself typically with still being able to get it. It's like you put a caricature of yourself out there with like a string attached to it while you're hiding in a bush. And so when you act all like crazy sexual online or something, and then if you actually see a dick in real life, you're like, I'm uncomfortable. I need to get out of here, right? Because I promise you, all the people who act like that, like a lot of, I'd say honestly, like 80% of the people who act like that online are, for one, terrible at sex, and two, don't get a lot of it, and three, don't have that many relationships, and four, like have no clue how to act around in those types of situations. No riz and no bitches. Okay, and it's not like bad. It doesn't make you like a bad person. It's just a way for them to like feel more comfortable asking for like validation, love, and attention without you feeling so incredibly vulnerable. Even it's kind of strange. Like the more vulnerable you are, the less vulnerable you feel, because it kind of feels like a caricature of yourself at the moment. So a lot of people think that what they want sometimes is sex because it seems like easier to get, like a sort of like hookup type. There's no like, right? It's interesting because we have like a hookup, sort of like hookup culture, or we have like the idea of a hookup, or like a really like quick fling where, you know, you meet, you spark, you find each other attractive, you go, you have sex, you like go home, that type of stuff. You don't really have that for like just an intimate talk, you know what I mean? Or like an intimate sort of like relationship. You don't have a sort of like hookup, but instead of having sex, you all like tell each other how like attractive you think each other are, and you like cuddle each other and you kiss and then you leave. And that's it. You don't really have that. There's no like structure or like societal like understanding of that. I think a lot of people would think it's like weird, or you like half-assed it. Like you were leading up to have sex, but you didn't because you were like scared or something. But it's not like that as like the main thing that you're there for. It's just like a sort of like intimate relationship is not, it doesn't seem like as valuable, right? It's wild, very wild. And it's unfortunate because it makes people think that like the sex is what they're looking for, when actually, if you press them on it, what they're not looking for sex. We use it as a vector for what people are actually looking for, which is intimate relationships, and like that sort of intimate romantic relationship with like another person is what they really want. And that usually comes coupled with sex, but they feel like a quick cheat code in which to get there would be sex, which it's not. It's really not. And it's sad because a lot of like young boys think so. We've been conditioned to more bitches, more better man you are. It's just not true. Yeah, and it's way harder to be like really intimate with like a stranger, you know? It's way easier to put I gotta tell you, it's way easier to put your pee-pee in someone's poo-poo hole than it is to tell them that you love them. It's very peculiar how that works, but it is true. a lot of people will find that very true.
She wouldn't like it, but there are some things that I agree with that he talks about, like trying to bring back masculinity. Are you against the top G?
Why do you call him the top G?
Because he's the top G.
He's famous, he has money, he has females, he has everything.
What these young men
fame, money, females,
is the
literally
wild
everything.
nature of Tate's relationships with women. And Sophie was experiencing Tate's violence firsthand.
There was some disagreement about something, and he just, he
Children.
held me up against the wall, and he slapped me really hard and followed it with, "You whore, you something or other."
In bed, rough sex turned into something she hadn't consented to.
Most of the violence
we call that assault.
Was sexual. That's obviously something that he's into. He likes to feel completely in control of the woman and feel like he could take their life away at any second. That is a big sexual turn on for him, which is crazy and disgusting. But at the time, I was just so intent on wanting to please him and just wanting him to be happy that I was kind of just, yeah, okay, do whatever you want. But yeah,
Only come if I
looking
can
back on
kill
it,
her.
yeah.
You
He
need
used to-
therapy.
I mean, he used to strangle me. That was the thing that he, to the point where I actually passed out once, and I think he
poor girl.
panicked then because he knew he'd gone
Whoops.
too far.
After some time, Sophie decided to leave Andrew Tate, realising that she'd had enough of constantly feeling inferior to him. Mentally, she was broken by the relationship. We put all of Sophie's allegations to Andrew Tate's legal team. We spoke to them via email and on the phone, and finally we received a WhatsApp message. They said they wouldn't be issuing a statement.
Oh, you
In
bitch.
April last year, one of Tate's webcam women, an American who lived in his house in Bucharest, contacted someone she knew in the US to say she was being held against her will. Her call was the catalyst that led to the Tate's arrest and detention just after Christmas, an event that made headlines around the world.
Controversial online influencer Andrew Tate has been detained in Romania.
American British media personality and former kickboxer Andrew Tate has been detained by Romanian prosecutors.
The woman I'd met on that Brookside-style estate, the one who'd worked for Tate, suddenly appeared on social media saying she was not a victim at all.
There are no victims in this case, and I am not a victim. And I feel it's very unfair that my friends are being held
This poor
as
girl.
prisoners for crimes they didn't commit, and also it's just for political points.
The prosecutor is treating them as victims regardless. Their public denials don't surprise Sophie.
He will intentionally be treating some people very well, knowing that they're going to go out into the world saying all this great stuff about him. Equally, there are going to be girls that are in the mindset, even if they are being treated badly, that they will be so infatuated and brainwashed by him that they're never going to say a bad word. I'm able to speak honestly now because I'm completely disconnected from him.
But there was something else nagging me about the whole Tate affair. Something Maria at the anti-trafficking charity said. Follow the money. It's the mantra of every investigative journalist. I returned to Tate's home. There's lots of rubbish at the back, an old skateboard, an IKEA lamp that's worth about 30 quid, loads of old bits of cement and debris from building and a basketball net. You know, it just does not feel like wealth. So where is the $1 trillion he says he has? Or is that just another overstatement created to help sell his online persona?
I do think he has a lot of money, but not as much as he
Maria
says he does.
Boragina knows everybody in the webcam industry, but she'd never heard of Andrew Tate until his arrest. Did you know about his webcam business before?
No.
Which is unusual, isn't it? Because you know a lot of people in this industry. You've been in it for a long time.
I never saw them and we never talked about them. I don't know how huge it is because what I saw in the newspaper, it was in a villa, so that cannot be very huge.
Do you think it's possible that he would have earned what he claims are tens and tens of millions of dollars so quickly from this industry alone?
If he claims that, I would like
Does a
him to
trillionaire
me.
exist? No.
Because we are not able to do that. But it's what he's saying. I don't know if it's true or not. From my perspective, it's not.
What about his ownership of Romanian companies?
Oh, this is a new area.
Well, we discovered that after their compound was raided in April last year, the Tate brothers began offloading some of their assets. One company they hurriedly transferred to a female associate, Georgiana Nagel, but she's now in custody too.
Put her in
moved it on to
jail.
Someone else, and that person was, wait for it, a porn star from Grimsby. The company
is Grimsby?
now in Dubai, and we can't access its records.
Oh no, dude. Oh, there's no way he's gonna get like
Bucharest, where Tate.
There's no way this guy's getting taken down in Dubai. They couldn't give a shit less. Oh, it's over. Yeah, what if he's able to make it to a place like Dubai? Like, he's not coming back. Grimsby. Yeah, he's not coming back. They couldn't give a shit less in Dubai. Sag.
Has been filmed and which he's supposed to part own. He claims he began buying casinos after some casual dealings with the Romanian mafia.
There was a guy who owns 400 casinos, 3 brothers, mafia guys. They own 400 casinos throughout Eastern Europe. I came up to him and said, look, I want to do a franchise with you.
You know the drill by now. He went to them, got involved, made a fortune, designed a business model. Tate has claimed he had 15 casinos, earning him $1 million a month. Well, we searched high and low in company records, and we couldn't find any evidence that Tate owned a single casino, not the James Bond and Martini variety.
I love committing crimes with the mob.
When they say casino, they also include slot machine arcades in that, you know, end of the pier stuff. And it does seem Tate did, in the past, have a business arrangement with a chain called Las Vegas Games. Las Vegas Games is currently under investigation on suspicion of extortion and organised crime involving the Romanian mafia.
That's crazy.
Tate doesn't want to be too closely associated with that. So, where's the money? Could it be in the UK?
Where's the money, Tate?
Graham Barrow.
Where's the money?
An anti-money laundering expert who helps banks and the UK government investigate suspected corruption.
Bro, fuck the UK government. I'm so sick of those people.
Clearly, Mr. Tate has exhibited
I'm so sick of them.
which is hard to reconcile with his normal business activities.
We asked him to examine both Andrew and Tristan Tate's companies in the UK.
The Tates, or at least Tristan Tate, has never filed a set of company accounts for any of the companies he has been a director or an owner of. It's a red flag in my world. It is a warning to most financial institutions that they should be paying close attention if they're doing business with these companies.
We also showed Graham our findings from Romania.
Whether you like it or not, unfortunately, Romania is a hub of significant organised criminal activity, which involves money laundering. Having seen the information that you've shown me, it is quite hard to differentiate that from other networks I've seen which have ultimately ended up being shown to be money laundering or other financial criminal networks.
Tate's followers become very touchy when journalists question the scale of his wealth. Take away Tate's money, his superpower if you like,
and he's nothing.
Take away his strength.
Hustlers University.
They already took away his baldness.
Want to learn about Hustlers University? There's a bunch of rooms to go into, and those rooms have millionaire professors.
The most likely source of a vast income seems to be his Hustlers University, an online business school to teach fans how to become rich.
I'm going to teach you everything from start to finish. Everything I've ever learned about business. I have 100 business tips I'm going to teach you, which will allow you to make your own money instantly.
The fee is $50 a month.
Drop shipping.
Recruits would be taught by so-called multi-millionaire experts. Tate's students could even earn money by luring in more students to Hustlers, for which they'd receive a cut.
Oh, really?
$2,000 or $3,000, and that's like what
I love my businesses having an inverse, having a conical shape, having
it sounds like pyramid selling. You wouldn't be alone, but Tate says
so
it's
based.
not. If he had the 100,000 students he claimed, then he really would be raking it in. But Hustlers appears not to have filed any company accounts, so it's impossible to tell what it's worth. But File on 4 can reveal something new. Tate and his brother Tristan were originally being investigated for trafficking and rape offences, but a source in the prosecutor's office has told me that they're now investigating potential money laundering as well, around Hustlers University and some of their other businesses. This is an important new development, and as they look deeper into the Tate's finances, I've been told that UK law enforcement are now helping the Romanian authorities.
No, they're not.
File on 4 has put all of its findings from tonight's programme to the Tate brothers through their lawyer, but they wouldn't comment. And there's one final avenue of inquiry.
You can actually control and own your money. How difficult is it to move serious cash?
Oh, here it comes.
Bitcoin.
Tate talks a lot on social media about cryptocurrency. In August last year, 4 months before his arrest, he told an American podcast this.
I had cash in a bank, and when everything hit the fan, the first thing I thought was, I don't want cash. I want something else. Give me an asset. Okay, well, how can I get an asset that the government can't take? Bitcoin.
Tate does seem to have at least one digital wallet, but we can't look inside. Romanian law enforcement
Thankfully,
might be able to.
The Romanians found it already. We talked about it.
Tate uses, but there is legal precedent at least for them to freeze whatever's there. It'd be ironic, wouldn't it, if Tate, a man created in cyberspace, had his fortune reduced to an endless binary code locked in a virtual wallet that he may never reach.
In difficult situations, I tend to just double down and think, right.
I actually think that they shouldn't take the money from his Bitcoin wallet, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think it would be way better. I think it would be way better than instead of just simply taking the money from the Bitcoin wallet, what they should do is they should change the password to something nobody knows, like a 500 character string of random numbers and letters, case sensitive as well, and then just like have one guy do it, and then have him forget, and then just like hand him the wallet back to him for him to never be able to reach again. It will be like him just like handing him like a crystal ball with his money frozen in it that's unbreakable, and he's just like clawing at it trying to get it out for the rest of his life. That's what I think they should do, mostly because it'd be really funny. To the Bitcoin to a burn address is what you're saying? Yeah, something like that. Or they should do that, and then what they should do is do the thing what happened to this one guy, how he had like 10,000 Bitcoin back when it was like a quarter of a billionth of a cent in net worth, but he can only use the password one more time and make it that like completely random string of like numbers and letters. So he can only try to use the password once, so he has to be 100% sure that it's real, or else like the wallet will just be deleted. That's what I think they should do. The genuine demon shit. But he deserves it. He's evil, bro. Bro literally tried to become a supervillain in real life. What else can we do? Honestly, he's just misunderstood. Listen, he can talk to his fellow cellmates about that type of stuff. He's not even being kept in like a crazy bad cell. From what I've seen, from what I've heard, is that he like has like a coffee machine and everything. He's got like a pretty good thing going on in the Romanian jail. He's not kept in like, he's kept away from the other prisoners, but that's for his own good because they would kill him. Remember, he's like a part of the Romanian mob. He can't be kept around them. They would kill him, which some people wouldn't care about, but Romania wants to prosecute him, so they are forcing him to be prosecuted. Yeah, I think he has coffee. Here, wait. Let me get out of here and then I can take a look. Andrew Tate's jail routine revealed: cell phone calls, hot coffee, and more. Check how Tate spends his time in jail. Oh yeah, he tweeted this out not so long ago. Oh, he's training like Uncle Iroh. He's doing like cell bar calisthenics like Iroh for the day he's going to break out. That shit is so funny. This is an amateur mistake. Wait, here, I gotta see this. The only way to survive in jail That is with absolute self-control and discipline. In jail, your daily pleasures are extremely small. Phone calls and hot coffee. When you wake up, you naturally want to grab a nice hot cup of coffee and make your phone calls. But that is an amateur mistake. Your daily pleasures are limited. If you use them the first thing in the morning, you are doomed to a day of misery. To counter this, I put obstacles in my way. 500 push-ups, 100 dips, 4 liters of water, 200 squats. I have a list to complete before my coffee and phone calls begin. Without some control, jail would be 100 times worse, much like real life. So true, bro. Yeah, bro thinks he's Saitama. The only difference is his workout routine is so ass that he actually grew hair instead of losing it. Hilarious. Oh, did you hear that he said he was going to cry? You hear that? Here you go. Lock yourself in your bathroom without your phone or laptop and try to sit for an hour. I am at day 43 and counting. I almost cried today. Almost. Bro, it's been 43 days and you almost cried? Can you imagine how the women who you raped feel? Imagine that. Incredible. The stupid Saitama universe. Is he capable of crying? I don't know, maybe. You're literally tweeting, but okay. Wait a second. I want to check this. What was this? Wait, this is his hidden replies. Ratio, top L, bottom G, seek help. You just made a tweet using your phone or laptop. Please stop. Stop lying, Humpty Dumpty. The Matrix is attacking me. This dude is a genius. Bro, to be completely honest, we ain't caring. If you do the crime, you do the crime. You do the time. Not little circle Tate. No, not me Tate. They hit him with he even hides the me Tate now. Not even little pencil Tate is able to doodle Tate. There you go. That's what you should call it. I was trying to think of a good name. Mini G. Yeah, Mini G, Doodle Tate. He's even hiding Doodle Tate now? He must be getting really sensitive. It's hard in there. Almost cried today. Wow. Soy AF. Keep trying. Push harder. Don't give up. Eventually, you'll crap that turret out. Dude. He's trying so hard to. They said he's trying to stay relevant. Baby, what do you mean? You look stunning. Look at him. He's beautiful. He looks like if Critical got microwaved. That's crazy. Lil G. That's crazy. That's so funny. If you put Charlie in like the microwave chamber from Metal Gear. Air fried Charlie. All right. Thank you. Fuck this guy, dude. Fucking criminal. I hate these people so damn much. Goddamn bottom G. My goodness. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.